Hello everybody, big welcome back and happy Thursday. So today we're going to have a live class but using artificial flowers, and obviously we're going to have a bit of a giveaway as well. So anybody that's watching, start commenting below. Let us know where you're watching in from. If you know any of your friends that love flowers, tag them in the comments. And again, we'd really appreciate if you click share and share this video as well. Even if you're watching it on the replay, you can still share it later on this evening, and again you can take part there by commenting underneath. So today my plan is to show you how to do an artificial door wreath, completely artificial. We've had a lot of questions about it. I suppose, do you call it, by the way, faux flowers, artificial flowers, silk flowers, pretend flowers, non flowers? What do you call it? You know, that way. I normally say silk flowers or artificial flowers, but you get lots of different names for it. It all means exactly the same thing. But we get lots of questions saying, do you do artificial flower arranging? And just to let you in on a little secret, we actually have a brand new artificial flower arranging program launching very, very soon. And there will also be a free taster program to it, so you can try it out first before you actually register for it completely. But I'll give you more information on that later on, because that's not ready yet to launch, okay? So back to the artificial flowers. People say to us, do you do artificial on your commercial courses? And we don't, and that's why we've set up this new program. But during our live classes, I often do like fresh foliage and maybe include artificial flowers in and out through it. But today I'm actually going to use completely artificial foliage as well. So I'm just going to go off camera for a second.
Yeah,
sorry.
We've good view. Celine is in. She's saying good afternoon, and thank you, Celine, for your other message. Let me see what else we've. Oh,
it's
yeah.
Deirdre's birthday today. She's probably saying happy birthday to her, isn't it? So it's Deirdre's birthday today, 21 plus the VAT. I think the VAT rate has gone up to 90%. She's in her early mid-50s, and she keeps telling me early mid-50s just about. So wish her a happy birthday. And you never know, she might pick your name down for the giveaway. This is the greenery that I'm going to use, and this greenery is from Evergreen Silk Plants. But what I've done, it's absolutely great value. I can't remember the price, and probably I won't be able to read the price. Actually, do you remember about 2 weeks ago? That's why I haven't been on in ages. Do you remember I had awful difficulty reading the artificial price? This is $190, by the way. I literally couldn't see it, right? And I was saying, oh my God, like my eyesight is definitely getting worse, because on all the bunches, I couldn't read any of the prices. Well, that evening, my eyes felt really itchy. And anyway, to cut the long story short, I got the worst case of conjunctivitis that you ever seen in your life. I was like the Hulk. There was green gunge coming out of my eyes. And it must have went on for about a week. I was just starting to recover, and feckin' Deirdre caught it then as well. And then my dad got it. Like, we were like feckin' lepers we were. It just seemed to be spreading wildfire. So anyway, this week, eyesight is back to mid-normal. 190 a stem plus the VAT. And what I was able to do then was cut it up into smaller little sprigs. Do you see, like that? And then on the silk flowers, when you're cutting some of the silk flowers up, you get little bits of greenery on them bushes as well. So I absolutely wasted nothing. I kept all the little bits of the silk flowers, and again, I'm going to use them as little filler-ins. So if you are doing artificial flower arranging, get yourself a box and stick all the little bits and bobs that are left over down into the box, you know what I mean, and everything will be used up.
Okay, we've lots of people tuning in. Loads of birthday wishes. Thanks a million for everyone that's wishing me a happy birthday. Decorations
you don't look
by
70, dear. No, you look fucking great, you do. You don't look 70 at all.
Decorations by Diana's watching in from New York. Paula is watching in from Philadelphia. Sarah is watching in from Chicago.
All the Americans.
It's supposed to be the time. Yeah, it's probably 7 o'clock.
5 hours behind
7, 8, 9,
us,
10, 11, 12. So 8 o'clock in the morning.
8 o'clock in the morning. They're probably getting ready for work. We're getting ready for our lunch area. We're going home, and hopefully Deirdre might bring us out for a birthday lunch later on. Now, our giveaway today is going to be these bridal magazines. I had 3 of them last week. I gave away bridal books, and everybody loved them, got great feedback from them. So again, they're full of wedding bouquets, wedding designs, church decoration, church arrangements, and then again lots of different varieties of flowers. They're from a company called Vanderclass, and she sent me out a few of them to give away to you. So we're going to give 3 of them away today. So you have to listen carefully to what I say, because chances are the question
The answer
that I ask,
is in the questions, or the questions
it's not
is
going
in
to
the
be
answer.
how old Deirdre is, just in case you're on the roll there.
Natalia is watching in from Puerto Rico.
Hey Natalia, how are you? It was lovely to meet you when you were in Ireland there a few weeks ago. And actually that was the night I got the conjunctivitis. I think I probably was talking to you and I was saying, God, my eyes were really sore. And I seen then you were off in France.
And Holland.
You seem to have an absolute ball of a holiday.
So she's
well
obviously
done.
back home again now.
You never know. We might be over to America and we might see it again very soon.
Yeah.
Okay,
Go on,
so
go ahead.
back to our artificial. This can be used as a door wreath. But again, there's a lot of people who follow us and maybe you're looking for something to use as a remembrance wreath for a grave, and it could absolutely be used for that as well. So what you need to buy are artificial foam rings. So this is the artificial oasis that's in them, okay? And it's called Sec. Now, some of the dirty minds there think I said sex. Sec, S-E-C, okay? That's the name of the floral foam that's in these containers. These are a 10-inch ring, but it'll turn out like a lot bigger when I'm finished, but you could use a different size if you wanted. And these rings are available both from Evergreen Silk Plants, and they're in RD, County Louth. Celine might tag them there in the comments.
She has already.
And O'Neill's Flowers up in Carlingford, County Louth, and wholesaleflowers.ie that are based in Dublin. And them three wholesalers that I've mentioned sell to people outside the trade. You don't have to be trade. And again, you can go and you can purchase the bases. They come in twos. You can't buy them in ones. They're sold in two like that. It kind of protects them. Now, a little tip. You don't have to do this, right? But I recommend get yourself a tin of spray. This is like a spray colour. And it doesn't have to be the Oasis brand that I'm using here today. Any of the brands will do. And often in the likes of Lidl and Aldi, they have spray paint for sale. And what I've done is I've sprayed the Oasis ring, you see green, before I started. That is going to save me so much work with camouflaging and covering in, because I'm obviously covering green instead of trying to cover grey. So this one here is called Holiday Green, but they also have one called Moss Green. And if I had a choice, I'd buy the Moss Green, but I was out of the Moss Green today, so I used the Holiday Green, but it works out absolutely brilliant. Other stuff that you could use is you could use fresh moss to help camouflage the oasis as well. It's another option for you. But again, if you don't have the sprays, you'll just need to use an extra bit of foliage afterwards. Mechanic wise is having maybe 20 gauge wires in case you have to wire anything. Gutta tape in case you have to gutta tape anything. A little knife. I won't be cutting really anything today. Sharp scissors. And if anybody is thinking of making this as a remembrance wreath for a grave, get yourself a tin of floral glue. The wholesalers that I all mentioned, they all have this for sale as well. And what you probably do, Deirdre, you have links for all this, haven't you?
I do actually, yes. So if you do want the link for the glue, comment glue in the comments, and I'll send it on to you. Or if you're watching on Instagram, I won't be able to go back to the comments. Drop us an email and I'll send you the link to. So, like, particularly if you're outside Ireland and you're in the UK, we have like direct links to stuff like that. We have direct links that you can buy all this stuff. So just drop Deirdre an email, info@caseflowerschool.com, or again in the comments there, even say the word link or say the word glue, and she'll send you the link for everything basically. Probably the easiest way to do it. Okay, what's our question going to be? What is the name of the dry floral foam? Now remember the dirty minds that's out there, okay? What was the name? What's the proper name for that? That's going to be the question. We're randomly going to pick 3 names and they're going to get the 3 wedding magazines. And what we'll do is we post them out to you. So when we do call out your name, what you'll do is send us your name and your address, obviously your name and your address, info@caseflowerschool.com, and we'll post them out to you. Okay, starting off. I'm starting off with our greenery. Hope you can see everything there. I'm using one of the turntables. So some of this greenery, when I cut it up, it's your husband.
That's my husband, and hopefully he hasn't cut us off. He hasn't. Hopefully he can still see us. This often happens if somebody rings us, it cuts us off. So when I'm cutting up some of the ivy and I put a wire on it, I personally find if I use the gutta tape on the wire, it grips the oasis, you know, the dry floral foam. I'm not going to give you the name, but it grips the dry floral foam a lot stronger and it's less likely to fall out. If you're putting this on a grave, I recommend to put a little squeeze of glue on the end of the wire, the end of the gutta tape, when you stick it into the floral foam, and again, it'll just give it that extra bit of security. Stick the stuff in really far. Don't just barely stick it into the oasis. Go in a good 2.5-3 centimetres, again, to make sure that it doesn't fall out. And some of the pieces of ivy that I'm cutting up, have these smaller little tails on. Like, I'm leaving them on. If anything comes outside the imaginary line, I'm leaving it on because, again, I think it's going to look nice.
Sorry, Janette, somebody just asked, is this the same principle for fresh?
No, it's slightly different, it is. So again, that's why, like, we do so many fresh demonstration classes and so many fresh flower arranging classes, and all our professional courses are completely fresh. And we just get inundated with so many questions. Is it the same in artificial? And I'm saying, no, it's different in artificial. So that's why I've organised this class here today. And as I said, I will have, it's not launched yet, because I think I'm only up to about 6 arrangements so far. But I do have a completely artificial flower arranging course launching very, very soon. Okay.
We've lots of stuff launching very soon. But anyway,
busy
somebody's asking about that she's done module 1 last year. She wants to do module 2. She says you've just triggered her to remind her when's module 2 starting.
So module 2 is starting on the 8th of May, okay? It's quite an intense course, and it is a continuation of module 1. So what do we cover on module 2? The main thing, I suppose, that we cover on module 2 is hand-tied bouquets. So hand-tied bouquets is something that you're going to need if you decide to whether work in a flower shop, you decide to work from your own home on a commercial basis. But even if you're already doing a little bit of flower arranging or a little bit of wedding floristry, people automatically assume that you can do presentation bouquets for the likes of birthdays, anniversaries, happy Valentine's Day, happy Mother's Day, happy Christmas, thank you bouquets for the mother of the bride. There's so many occasions where you will use presentation bouquets. So we cover all of that as part of our module 2. Now that's only one class. I think there's about 22 classes in total. So one class is concentrating completely on hand-tied bouquets, but we've lots of different variations of hand-tied bouquets, from achieving like your spiral technique, your costing, your stem count, your list of ingredients, your presentation, your lefties. Anybody that's a left-handed one, we have a separate left-handed step-by-step tutorial for the left-handed people, how to package them up, how to do the porter boxes, how to do the aqua pack in bubble water, how to wrap them in brown paper, how to do flat bouquets. Absolutely everything to do with bouquets is covered in that section. And that's only one class, even though some people might call that 20 classes. And then we have another class, and it's covering funeral sprays. But funeral sprays like that length, 4 foot length, 5 foot, casket sprays, 5 foot, 6 foot in length, using 1 or 2 varieties of flowers, using 1 or 2 colours, and then using 5 or 6 varieties of flowers, or again using 5 or 6 colours. Single-ended sprays, double-ended sprays, mock hand-tied sprays. Now that's just section number 2. You still have 20 more to go on. And then we go into like remembrance wreaths. Again, funeral wreaths, hearts, crosses, pillows, cushions, gates of heaven, writing names and flowers. Like, you name it, it's covered on module 2.
Emma said, is it very morbid?
The amount of people that ask that, no, there'll just be great crack on the module 2. Like, especially if your ex-husband is not even dead, we even make wreaths for the ex-husband. No, it's definitely not morbid. Because you're working with such fabulous flowers, you know, that way. And we send out some amazing flowers. Like, you'll see some of the photographs that we post up here on our social media. And you know what? The difference is, unless you've recently lost somebody, and even if you have recently lost somebody, you're making the flowers probably to put on their grave as a remembrance. But everybody else, they're making the wreaths to make them look nice. And sometimes people often send me on the photographs for feedback, and they say, God, Janette, could you put this on your kitchen table? And I say, well, not really. It's not really an arrangement to put on the kitchen table. But because you've made it yourself, you don't really feel morbid about it. It's all about making the arrangement look fabulous, look lovely, and so on. It's most
Celine
important.
says module 2 was her favourite.
Isn't it gas? The amount of people who do say that. What I'm now doing is, you know them little pieces of foliage that I showed you that I use, that I cut up from the silk flowers, and you can see the way now I'm using these as kind of like as a filler, you know, that way, for hiding our floral foam. And again, because the floral foam is green, you know, because I sprayed it, it makes it a lot easier. And just for yourselves, if you actually hold this up in front of you, I don't hold it like this because you can't see what I'm doing, but if you could hold it up and like look at it, it's a lot easier to see exactly where you need to insert the extra pieces. Now obviously the flowers will cover a huge amount of the floral foam as well. How's the competition going, Deirdre?
Yeah, I have 3 winners. Yeah, lots of right
so
answers
keep putting
coming
in
in.
the right answer there. Like, what is the name of the floral foam? I said it right at the very, very beginning.
Sorry, Gina, somebody asked there, I think it was Maria was her name. She says, why can't you just use normal floral foam?
because the stuff will fall back out again. When people buy an artificial item, like an artificial flower arrangement, or an artificial door wreath, or an artificial grave wreath, they want it to last, I won't say forever, but you know, as long as possible. And fresh floral foam actually goes off. A lot of people don't realise that. It actually goes stale, it does. Just looking for a few more little bits and bobs here. I'll move on to my flowers now in a second. So fresh floral foam actually goes stale after 6 months. And yet on the box it doesn't say best before September 2024. And what happens when it goes stale, it starts to crumble and the flowers will fall out of it. Doesn't matter with fresh flowers, because the fresh flowers never last 6 months. But with dry flowers, artificial flowers, dry flowers would be exactly the same, by the way. Artificial or silk flowers, normally people are buying it and they want it to last that little bit longer. So dry oasis is a completely different material. Like, it doesn't absorb water, it's completely different, much stronger, and it'll take a fair bit of bashing. So if it's on a grave and it gets blown around or it's a little bit tattered, you know, that way it'll hold up and it'll hold the material.
Yeah, no, that's it. I can keep going there now.
Okay, rightio. So these were stems of flowers. Anybody that watched the other day, we had these purple flowers, and they were like long hanging flowers that Evergreen Silk Plants had sent out to us, okay, as a sample just to show you. And they wouldn't have worked in the wreath today. But what I did was I broke them up into these smaller little pieces, okay, and then using a wire, I made my hairpin bend. I wrapped it around, and then I got a little bit of gutter tape, you know what I mean, just to make the wire a bit more secure. And then I was able to cut it to the length I wanted, and then I was able to stick it in, and I got great value. And out of each of them kind of like sausagey looking flowers, I got probably 4 or 5 or 6 little sprigs, so it worked out absolutely great value. Now you can see, because this is nice and light, and because it's artificial obviously, I'm able to hold it up in my hand while I'm sticking the material in, rather than holding it on the turntable. But again, if you find this awkward to do, just keep it on the turntable and it'll be absolutely fine. Now on our courses, you know that way, on our step-by-step courses, everything is a step-by-step tutorial, and I'm explaining why I'm putting the material in. But the difference is, with our step-by-step professional courses, we have more time, and Deirdre can kind of zoom in. Where with these live classes, we're trying to get them done in, 20 minutes, half an hour. We're trying to chat to you. We're trying to sell our other courses. We're trying to do a giveaway. We're trying to do absolutely everything. And we're trying to wish Deirdre a happy birthday. So it does be fairly, you know what I mean, full on trying to do all these things. So I have to kind of speed things up a little bit. But just so that you're aware, like, there's no way on our professional courses, as our students will tell you there, that we go as fast. Where each flower, as I insert it into the floral foam, I give you a description, a reason and detail of why I'm actually sticking it in. And the great thing about our courses then is that you'll have one-to-one WhatsApp with myself. And this is what our flower arranging courses that are on at the moment, they've been doing this week, so that they can then copy the arrangements that I'm demonstrating and then send on the samples to me. You know what I mean? Like, they're step-by-step samples of what they're doing at home. And again, I can give them feedback on it. I can tell them where they're going wrong. I can give them advice of what they maybe should do a little bit differently.
Everyone is loving the colour combination.
Well, you know me, it has to be pink, doesn't it? Has to be pink, you know, for Kay's Flower School. We use quite a lot of pink, you know. And I know sometimes the students ask us, oh, would you do another colour? With our step-by-step tutorials, when we supply the materials, we supply identical to what I demonstrate with. So if I demonstrate in white flowers, you're sent out white flowers. If I demonstrate in pink flowers, you're sent out pink flowers. If I demonstrate lilies, you get the lilies. These are the little baby carnations. They come in a bunch in Evergreen Silk Plants, and they're absolutely great value. Deirdre's just going to pass me a bunch of them there. That's them there, right? Can I see the price? How's the conjunctivitis today? $2.90. There's actually some cut off that. That's not a full bunch. I've actually cut some off that. They work out exceptionally good value from Evergreen Silk Plants. So you get all these little flowers, and you can see there they give a lovely texture. And what I'm doing is I'm allowing these to bounce up over the other flowers, and it gives a little bit of movement. You see the way you get a little bit of movement? So if there's a gale force wind outside your house there, you can see it's blown away. But hopefully,
and that's what Tilly wants to know, can you use them bases as a door wreath?
Yeah, so I'm kind of saying this could be a door wreath. To be honest, there's no difference in a door wreath or a grave wreath as such. There's a few slight differences, you know, that way. But like what I'm doing now, you could use as a door wreath or you could use as a grave wreath. And if you prefer to put more foliage into it, absolutely you could. Or if you prefer to put less or more flowers, the same thing, absolutely you can. So,
Selena's tagged Evergreen Silk Plants. We're actually going to be up in Evergreen Silk Plants. What day is it?
the 9th of May. It's a Thursday night, the 9th of May. We're actually heading up to RD. Heading up there for the day we are. Bringing our passports.
Bring our
Are we staying the
passports.
night? You never know. We might stay the night if there's a good pub locally. Let us know if there's a good pub locally up there in RD. We're all on for a good pub. But like lots of people are always saying to us about, you know, like, where do we do live events, to come and meet us, you know, that way, have the chats, have a drink. Now you just have to buy us to drink, by the way. So Evergreen, Charles, what's the name? Charlie and Paula, they're actually running a fundraiser for
RD, RD and somewhere Cancer Support Service.
Cancer Support Services. Is it ARC they're called? Is it that?
No.
Anyway, it's a cancer support. They're doing fundraising for it. They did ask us last year, and then between one thing and another, anyway, we didn't get around to it, and we said to them that we would definitely go up this year. So they have it organised for Thursday night, the 9th of May. It's from 7 o'clock in the evening. It's probably on for an hour and a half. There'll be obviously huge raffles, huge giveaways, and we'll be obviously expecting lots and lots of fundraising to raise money.
And they actually have a GoFundMe over on the page, because he was saying the amount of emails that he got that people couldn't go.
Because that's what I was saying to him, because I found that he wasn't actually selling tickets for it, and I said, God, you should sell tickets for it. As far as I know, it's free in on the night, which is ridiculous. You know, usually we're not organising it. We'll be put your name on the back of a €20 note to get in. But anyway, it's free into it. And then they're going to do the fundraising while you're actually there. So they'll be passing the bucket around.
Passing the bucket.
Will you be holding the bucket, Deirdre?
We will.
Be passing the bucket around, and then everybody can contribute as much or as little as you want. That's them baby carnations in white flowers. Again, they came in a little bunch, and just adding a few of these in, again, for little textures. What I love with these wreaths is don't skimp on the amount of material that you put into them. And this worked out very reasonable to me. And all of the material that I'm using in this particular wreath has been bought in from Evergreen Silk Plants. So if you want to copy exactly, just tell him that you want the material that, you know, Janette used. He'll know it exactly, and he'll do that for you. Just making me whole, that I can see me whole a little bit better. Okay, another one or two little bits of this.
Everyone's loving it. I'm curious to see, like, regarding sort of a fresh door wreath and an artificial door wreath, what do people prefer? Let us know in the comments, which would you prefer?
Yeah, what would you prefer? Over in Lanzarote, I have an artificial door wreath hanging on my door. It's one that I made myself. It's hanging there since last October, because I did it in the kind of autumnal colours at the time, even though we are into spring, summer. I've never changed it. It's in the beaming hot heat. Like the sun is literally shining on the whole door all the time. It has faded a little bit, but I have to say it looks perfect. And even though what we get over there, the Kalimos or Kalima, you know, all that dust and all that, it still looks absolutely perfect. There's no way I could do a fresh one over there. It'd be literally dead in 6 hours, you know, that way with the heat. So over there I have an artificial one, but on my own door at home, and I'm getting a brand new hall door, by the way. But on my old door at the moment, that still has the hole in the glass. Remember I told you all about that before? But I am getting a brand new door. I'm dying to post a photograph of my new door when I get it up. It's not pink. But on my own door, I do actually prefer a fresh one. But I often do it in fresh foliage, and I put artificial flowers through it just to kind of like change the colours. I definitely think I have enough material in that.
That's
just
gorgeous,
checking around for the top on spots. So all you have to do then is hook a ribbon through there, catch it around there, and then hang it on your knockers, hang it on your knobs, hang it out wherever you want
it's gas, actually. Somebody are saying that they prefer artificial but fresh at Christmas. Leanna's saying she much prefers working with artificial, and she usually sprays it with a UV protection spray.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I must put the link for that in the comments.
The
if
UV
you know.
protection spray, yeah.
That's actually a great idea. That probably will be brilliant for me.
Yeah.
Over in the, and again, anybody that's watching here that's from a sunny country, obviously you wouldn't need them much in Ireland. I
no,
suppose.
I don't think so.
But still, it's a handy thing to know. And as I said, we will be launching the artificial flower ranging program very, very soon. And as I said, I'd love to see as many of you as possible up in RD on the 9th of May, 9th of June, 9th of May, for the demonstration night. I'm planning on doing large floral structures.
Yeah,
that's what I'm planning
ones,
to do up there that night. So again, anybody that's maybe involved in churches or hotels and wants to do something really nice and artificial, make sure that you come on the night. It's completely free in. Fundraising on the night for cancer. Listen, you can't lose.
Paula says it looks like a fresh wreath. It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
everyone
I have to say the the quality of the artificial flowers from evergreen silk plants for the price of them are very, like, they're very realistic. So like there's carnations, there's anemones, there's ranunculus, there's hydrangeas, there's scabiosa, there's little primrose, there's artificial gyp. There's that ivy. That ivy is amazing value. You know, that way, like 2 stems of that kind of green to that look. Well, I can't remember, was it 190 a stem? I said it's absolute great value. And again, them bases are not that expensive. Anybody looking for the link for buying any of the bases or the floral sprays or the glues or the knife or the dry oasis?
We do actually, if you go to our website, so we do have, we sell a few sundries, not a lot, but at the bottom of every page on our website, we do have a link to an Amazon shop, and it's not us selling them, but what I have done is made a list of things that people might be interested in, make it easier, all in one place.
Because otherwise we've been tormented answering emails, where will I get the stuff? So we've kind of put it all together, and where again you can use our Amazon
link. Celine, at the end of the website, the Amazon shop link is probably, and you'll see that I've actually divided it into lists.
Yeah.
Because yesterday we were talking about taking photographs of the students, and they were asking about the ring lights, and they were asking about backdrops. So I've done a list with all that stuff.
Yeah, I was actually looking at them backdrops, because the backdrops that we use, that you've seen them at different events that we did, they're so cheap they are. And everybody's always asking us, you know, the Christmas one where we're standing at the fireplace warming our hands and wiggling our arses, they're all from Amazon. So Deirdre has all them links of them backdrops that we've used, €15 plus, like they're for nothing. And like once you have them basically for life. So again, other backdrops, it looks like I'm in a forest, or looks like I'm standing against a wall of roses. They're all just backdrops that we buy from Amazon. So Deirdre has them all in the links. And again,
and I'm adding to them all the time. Actually, that girl, I can't remember what your name was, said that she got the spray. Oh, Leanne it was. She buys it from Amazon. She should find the link, and when I find the link, I'll put it into, because I actually have a wreath making list. Stuff that you need for wreath making.
Call out the winners.
Oh, our winners. Okay, Jesus, sorry. The winners is Saoirse Breathnach, Breathnach.
That sounds like Bertie in Irish, doesn't it?
Yeah, Breathlaw. Sharon Clark and Andrea Mulhall.
So the 3 of you, send us on your name and address, email it to us, info@caseflowerschool.com, and we'll get them wedding booklets out to you. Module 2 is starting on the 8th of May, so the day before the demonstration night, the 8th of May. There's still places available on it. If you have any queries at all, contact us by email. Drop us your phone number, and if you want, I'll give you a ring back, and I can discuss then what course would probably suit you best.
Viv is on, and she says to use to ever sleep.
No.
Definitely not.
Have a great day, everyone, and talk to you all very soon.
And Celine has put up the list.
Thanks a million, Celine. You're an absolute gem.
And there's a book going in the post to you as well, Celine.
Thanks a million, everyone. See you then. Bye-bye.